Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. You're watching P3, the place where we feature individuals who have tapped into their power, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Janie Terrazas, and today I'm very grateful and excited to have the fantastical Amy Kobos. She's a health coach and creator of kissmywellness.com. Thank you so much for being with us today, Amy.
Oh, so wonderful to be here, Janie. I'm so excited.
You are such a ball of energy. When we met, we happened to meet when you were visiting here in San Antonio, and we connected instantly. And you just had so much energy, and there was a lot of optimism and positivity that was oozing through you. And of course, when I started to hear more about what you did, it made perfect sense. You know, you really, truly are an embodiment of health. And I know a lot of people have questions about, well, what is a health coach? And so we'll get into, you know, what that means for you and how you help people in your community and really around the world. Because now that we have technology like this, you truly can help people anywhere. Of course, we also want to touch on power, passion, and purpose. You are one of those people that have found your center and are living deliberately, intentionally, and authentically. So I honor you greatly. Thank you so much for doing that and being one of those people that care.
Thank you so much. I think power and purpose and passion, are three very powerful words that I think if there's anything people and even businesses need, it's those three words, because that's going to really help uncover, their mission, their why, and how they're going to serve out their purpose. So, and that's what I like to do. And, I think, when you're thinking about like your health or if you're working in a business, it's like, okay, well, why am I here? You got to feel some sort of like sense of like belonging there. Like there's a reason, right? And what are you going to bring to the table that's going to help improve where you are, improve your health, or improve what's out in the community? And I think those three P's really stand for a lot and are super powerful.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you've always been a very driven person, if you were around individuals that encouraged that and supported that in you. I'm always curious to know, did you have those core skills from the get-go, or did you have to like develop them?
Yeah, I think a little of both, or a lot of both. I would have to say, and I have to admit, I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad, but they kind of weren't there growing up, so I had to learn how to fend for myself. I didn't have a choice. If I wanted to eat, I'd have to find the change in like the couch cushions and walk 2 miles or 1.5 miles with my brother to the gas station to get some beef jerky and a cheese stick. And it was an adventure. It was this like huge process where you're like, oh, this sucks, right? But hey, let's go and have fun with this. Let's have some trials and tribulations. We got in trouble a little bit. We were little mischievous kids. We failed a lot, but we did it ourselves. We didn't have anybody holding our hand, me and my brother. And so I think that really built a lot of confidence in saying like, well, if I can do something silly like that, totally like be like that unsupervised kid and still survive and get what I need, then hey, I can do anything. And my dad always owned a business. My mom always owned a business. And so I was like, okay, well, they're driven. I think there's a little bit genetically in my blood that I'm super driven. Nothing gets in my way. Yeah, I have struggles and stresses like everybody, but I think like, this is one life you have. You get to create it however you want to. And guess what? You want to get in your own way? Go for it. Or do you want to get out of your way and just keep moving forward? That's your choice. So you got two choices: stay stuck or become unstuck.
True. And that takes a lot of courage, a lot of resilience. There is a balance though, being that you were so self-sufficient as a kid out of necessity, you can also develop belief structures where you can only rely on yourself. Or if you're I don't know if you were the older sibling, but if you were there taking care of your brother and yourself, you can easily take on this, I have to take care of everyone around me all the time. And at some point, did you see how then it started to become some type of an imbalance for you and what you could like work on yourself?
The first thing that comes to my mind is, wow, I guess, seeing other people struggle in the community with problems. I was like, well, hey, I've overcome that. Maybe I can excite them to do the same thing, But then again, that was a little overwhelming for me because I saw so many people out there stuck. And I'm like, well, oh, I can save them. I can save the world, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you're going to take a step back. I got to focus on one thing at a time. And I should be focusing on my health, myself first. But I didn't do that. So
right. There's the self-care practice, right, that comes into play, and the self-love. We finally reached that place in our lives where we realize, oh, we kind of have to work on that too. What was that sort of point for you?
My first marriage, I would say in my mid-20s, I got married because everybody else wanted me to. I wasn't getting married for the right reasons. I wasn't in love. My ex-husband's going to listen to this and be like, oh my gosh, but that's okay. He's in a good place now too. I did things for other people before I did things for myself. And I would feel guilty if I did things for myself first. And that was a mistake. And I learned how to create boundaries. I learned to say no. I guess I learned how to be my, what do they call it? The inner bitch. Like, just say no, Amy. Just tell him no. Be mean. I'm like, oh, well, that's actually not being mean. But I was taught that saying no is mean. So I've learned that, okay, that's actually not mean. And I'm going to stand up for what that's gonna work for me. And it's not going to be a bad thing. It shouldn't hurt people. And if it does, I'm sorry, but people are going to be miserable on both ends if you don't take care of yourself first. It's just, it can create a lot of problems if you don't love yourself first.
That's you taking back your power.
And when I committed to myself, I don't think I've ever felt so free in my life. And I still feel completely free. And that was about, 8 or 9 years ago. Freedom, absolute freedom. And then being okay with loss. Yeah, I lost my, ex-in-laws. They were great people. I lost friends. You know what? I send my love to them. I can just have to make peace and move on. I can't please everybody. And I struggled. Like, you go through this grieving process, when you lose your old life or you lose friends or you choose not to speak to people because maybe they were toxic in your life. It's like even family members. And you got to learn to be okay with acceptance of the situation. And I think that's very difficult for people. But when you allow yourself that permission and just say, okay, I'm just going to see what happens when I allow this. And because I know that I can't control other people, I can only control what I do. And you just have to make peace with it and try to create a healthy environment for yourself as much as possible.
And what does a healthy environment look like for you? And I know as a health coach, that's something that you probably help people come to assess.
Yeah, and I love how you said, what does a healthy environment look like for you? One, it's going to look different for every single person.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say what's a healthy environment for me is not going to be the same for probably most people. Or maybe some people can relate to it. I hope so. So a healthy environment for me is free of toxicity. And that means negative energy. It could be anything from the news or hearing about how bad people have gotten away with things that aren't being punished for things, abusers. Really creating those boundaries. Boundary building is like my number one tool. Noise. I'm very sensitive to noise. Emotionally, when people are talking a lot, I have a really hard time being in loud rooms with a lot of people. Traffic, I can't be in traffic or cities. I have to literally live out in a country where there's water. I listen to meditation music all the time without lyrics. A lot of frequency disturbs my mind, and I have to create calmness. Calmness is my number one priority. It's hard. I struggle every day. We have stress. We have to really check in with ourselves. Awareness. I feel like it's a constant battle every day internally. Just even with my husband calling about, oh, what's going on at work? I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, let's talk about wonderful things now. I'm very sensitive to negative energy. And I think we all are to an extent. We don't realize how bad it, or how much of an impact it makes on our bodies. And then how much we can actually control too. Like, okay, the boundary building, like how much can I actually tolerate? Is it 5 minutes? Is it like 4 hours? That's different for everybody. Some people aren't affected at all by it. I am. I think that would be my number one thing is, because that creates clutter of the mind, and then cluttered space. It drives me freaking nuts. And I'm always seeking that sense of calmness. If I'm not seeking it, I have to create it. So I think that would be my main take on what would create a healthy environment for me.
Yeah, I think that was a great way to describe one's environment, because they don't even think about what are they taking in through radio waves, like what kind of music they're listening to. There's all this disturbance that we take in visually or through the ears, and you spend a lot of time in nature. It's important for you to be close to nature, which really helps balance out that noise that you have to take in some time, because I believe you're in school. You're one of those individuals that has like a multitude of degrees, and and you really love learning, and I love that. What are you studying right now? There's something that you're taking right now.
Yes. So I'm in a bridge course to become nationally board certified as a health coach. I have a certification in a health coach. I got that from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which I highly, highly, highly speak of. They're an amazing university. But I'm taking the bridge course through them to take my board exams in October. If you're a health coach, you got to get board certified.
You're really bridging all of your interests and your talents and your passions and combining them and creating a business for yourself and a brand, and really like a health movement. What are some of your passions?
Where do I begin? Gosh, I think so. A passion. So I want to define like what passion means to me. A passion is what drives me. It's my why. I'm a Libra. When I see imbalance and injustice, I want to solve the problem. I see so many people are like stuck. And I'm like, you're in your own way, or like if I see a community that, there's so much inequality, I have to create some sort of balance. But my passion's driving me to work within those systems, not against those systems. Because when we work against those systems, it's just going to divide. You can't create healthy change if you're going to divide. You got to work together. So my passion, I would say, is creating a better healthcare system for us all over the world. That's my main, well, I guess that would be my mission, right? But this might have a passion to do so because I see so many people hurt by it or not getting what they need, not accessible. And I'm just like, no, there's so many gaps. I want to be the person who helps bridge those gaps because I've been hurt by it. My family's been hurt by, some broken parts of the system. So I hate seeing that. I hate seeing nursing homes. I'm like, why are these nurses talking to these like patients like they're babies? Talk to them like they're human beings. There's so many demographics in the healthcare and in our world that are just like, we're not being listened to.
Mm-hmm.
People just need basic needs and they're not getting it. And so my passion is to just, I guess, help create a platform or part of a system that's going to help bridge those gaps. Because I think there's a lot of missing links, missing pieces, and that's what lights my fire. Is I want to help create more like equity and access to healthcare.
I love it. And that's like the big scale. That's your big vision, your big mission, and all these other smaller parts that you are already actively doing is leading to the bigger vision and all the things that you're studying. So I commend you and honor you for your commitment. As far as the smaller scale of it, when you work with clients, what are the main things, or what have you discovered are the types of individuals that you really enjoy working with and that you feel can benefit the most, from your services?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love working with artisan makers. I used to make a lot of soap, and I've been an artist all of my life. And so I have a really wonderful community that I work with in a town nearby. And so I host little workshops on helping them I teach them about like mission statements, helping them overcome imposter syndrome, teaching them confidence. I help them find their why, their purpose, their power, so they can move forward in their business. Because I work a lot with clients who are just like, they just don't know where to start. They've got what I call business brain. Another thing I work with is I help organize. Take out the clutter, right? Because I know that for what creates a healthy environment for me, I don't tell them what to do, but I might bring a tool to the table and be like, this may help you, organize your business a little better, depending on what their goals are, of course. I love working with artisan makers who are just starting out.
I'm more right-brainy, and I'm very much more like the artist. And so finding systems and a strategic way to lay out a map to, execute something. It's like I have a ton of ideas and so much content, but then I get overwhelmed. And so you kind of help people with the overwhelm and the organizational side of it. And that's what makes you so interesting, is that you are an artist, but you are also very left brainy. And so you're that nice balance of the two. It's that synchronization of your brain.
And I want to say, we have to focus on so much nourishment during the day emotionally. We tend to starve ourselves for whatever way. We've been conditioned with a bunch of bullshit. I hope I'm allowed to say that on the air.
You totally can.
Yeah, it's just finding what's going to nourish us, because that's fertilizer. If you go and you're trying to plant a garden and you're using crappy soil and you're wondering why, you're not getting as many like flowers or fruit from that tree. You're like, okay, well, it starts from within. It starts from the soil. And that's where I really love helping people, is cultivating the foundation. And I call it, you have to nourish relationships with yourself so you can be able to nourish relationships with others. Because when you're in business as an artisan maker, yes, you can have these amazing products that you have, but how are you going to get them out there? So I help people bridge the gap. How are you going to get your stuff out there and connect with people in your community, your target market, and sell your product? Talk to them about your passion, your purpose, and your power. And a lot of it comes from within. People like to, they don't like to, well, some people like to stay stuck because it's comfortable, but people are stuck. And most of the time it's because it's within.
I love that you mentioned, that people are starved. We're starved for connection. We're starved for authenticity. We are so disconnected from our true essence. We don't even know that that's really what we're missing, and where that void is really coming from, that we're trying to fill with all these external things. So when you finally understand what feeds you, that you need to feed your soul, you need to feed your mental body, your emotional body. We've got clutter, like you said, traumas and old ideas and beliefs and memories and stuff that are keeping us stuck and paralyzed in this loop, this identity that's creating a reality that's not really allowing us to thrive. We're just kind of like, surviving. And you're one of those people that really wants to light themselves from the inside out, so that you can be a beacon of light for others. And you realize you can only give to others to the degree that you could give to yourself. And that includes everything from self-compassion, mercy, forgiveness, understanding, all of these things. It's important for us to know ourselves so that we can love ourselves, and then we can show up better with in our lives, at work and in our friendships and family. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I just want to say that everything that you need is already inside of you. And remember that you're the best expert on yourself. Like, as a health coach, like, I don't tell people what to do. I don't tell people what they should do. I help them. I empower them create what's going to work for them through like self-discovery and exploration, so they can create the goals they want to create. And it's about what do you want to do, not what you should do. What do you actually want to do, and being authentic to that. And what does that healthy feel like for you? Nobody can tell you what healthy is supposed to look like, because it's all what we call bio-individuality. You create what healthy looks like for you.
Yeah.
There's not one way. So explore that within yourself.
It's not this like cookie cutter template kind of coaching that you do. Part of this self-realization and actualization and growth is getting comfortable with change. And right now we are going through a lot of change. Speaking of change, we're all in quarantine while we're recording this. You know, there's a pandemic going on. Is there any piece of advice that you would like to maybe give people as they're sort of, funny enough, stuck inside their homes? You know, what's something that you feel maybe when their stress or anxiety levels are starting to rise? What's something that you feel helps people?
Oh my gosh, this has been coming up so much in my recent coaching sessions. You know, people are on this weird schedule now. They're in this foreign territory. They're like, what am I in? I don't have my normal life right now. What do I do? I've got to learn how to create something, you know, and it's like, there's a lot of rearranging in your schedule. I think, you know, the first thing is always the most important key is awareness. How are you really feeling? What's going on? What can you let go of? What can you bring in? What even if there's just one thing that you can create what healthy looks like for you in that day, just do 5 minutes of it. Whatever that is for you, 5 minutes. And then maybe increase that to 10 minutes. And you know, maybe that's just taking a 5-minute walk for somebody. Maybe that's 5 deep breaths. Maybe that's drinking an extra glass of water. Maybe that's just sitting and just being for 5 minutes when there's so much clutter and noise and stress. People are losing their jobs. It's extremely stressful right now for most people. Some people can't just take up a new hobby. That might seem like a luxury to most people. It's not, you know, people are struggling. It's hard. No, they're not alone. You know, reach out for support, because we're here. I'm here. There's a lot of Facebook groups, you know, call that somebody just to talk about stuff that might be funny, you know, bring some joy, laughter.
That's always good medicine, joy and laughter.
Joy and laughter.
Yeah, that's something that I try to do, you know, daily is, you know, play or watch something funny or I don't know, just it's important for us, because obviously when we're in this state of mind, you know, and all this stuff is going on, that's something that we can lose sight of. So yeah, definitely find a way to laugh every once in a while.
Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I challenge everybody to 5 minutes of whatever healthy looks like for you in your crazy, weird, foreign territory right now.
That's a great piece of advice. And please let them know how they can connect with you.
Okay, so I'm at kissmywellness.com, or you can email me directly at kissmywellness@gmail.com. My name is Amy Kobos. It's Kobos, like Lobos with a K. I'd be happy to bring some joy and help you create joy in your life. Whether you're an artisan maker or just need somebody to talk to, I hold space for people. Safe space, no judgments. It's all about you and the healthy you want to create.
I love it. The healthy that you want to create. And that's really where it starts. Do you want to create healthy? And
do you want?
Yeah, do you want? What do you want?
It's all about what you want, because if you don't want, you can't have any behavior change.
That's absolutely true. Thank you so much for your time and all the beautiful wisdom that you shared with us today, Amy, and continued success and blessings on all of your beautiful endeavors.
It's always a joy to speak with you, Janie. You are also a wonderful light for everyone, and you shine a lot. So really appreciate you being there in this world and creating that ripple effect.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much, and have an awesome day.
You too.
And thank you everyone for tuning in to Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. Be sure to tune in next week when we feature Chase Hansen and John Hansen. This dad-son duo have created Project Empathy. You aren't going to want to miss what they have to say about power, passion, and purpose. Till next time, peace be in us.